I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now, because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean?
The White House is putting a halt and a freeze on all federal grants and all federal loans.
One motherfucking weekend, and we are already in the pits of fucking hell. He wasted no motherfucking time. I'm literally having like nightmares with like Aaron Parnas and the guy with the legs up in the sky. Surprise, surprise. Like every 2 to 3 hours. Breaking news this, breaking news that, breaking news. But this one right here today, with putting a freeze on government funded programs, this hit dog is howling at the motherfucking moon.
MAGA is having an absolute meltdown as Trump has just made a move that is leaving even his own supporters shook. Trump is cutting and freezing all federal funds and grants. That means red states, small businesses, police departments, and even MAGA-loving farmers who relied on federal funding are now in panic mode. The very people who actually screamed America first are now realizing that government handouts aren't just for the people that they love to criticize. From infrastructure projects getting cancelled, police budgets shrinking, and rural hospitals on the verge of collapse, this is about to hit hard. Now guys, let's break down the irony and the chaos. If you're new to the channel, kindly consider subscribing, like the video, and drop me a comment of your opinion in the comment section below. Let's get into it. I'll be back with more commentary.
I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now, because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean?
This is what happens when you choose billionaires and millionaires to run the country. They will never look out for the best interests of the middle class, of the poor. They will always find ways to make themselves and their rich buddies richer. And that is what's happening right now with Donald Trump cutting in a massive way federal funding and grants for the entire people of the United States. And while Jeffrey Bezos and Elon Musk and all his fucking homies are getting richer by the minute since he won, you, the common folk, the middle class and the poor in the United States, are gonna get substantially poorer and are risking your lives. He is taking you to the fucking butcher block. You can pretty much lose your life over this shit, and this is no goddamn joke. Medicaid is gonna be affected. Over 80 million Americans benefit from financial aid programs funded by the federal government for Medicaid. He's putting people's lives at risk. It is also going to affect the SNAP program, which people use to feed their children. People who are struggling, who are going through a situation, who lost their job, are now possibly not going to be able to feed their kids because of this shit. Even the temporary assistance for needy families, the TAMFs, is also going to be at jeopardy because of this garbage. But again, you are getting what you wanted for and what you selected by voting for a maniac who had a golden toilet in Trump Tower and doesn't give a flying fuck about any of you. President Harris has a nice ring to it right now, doesn't it? You are quickly regretting this bullshit. And to make matters worse, he is doing it illegally, because he needs Congress to pass legislation like this that affects millions of Americans. Now you're getting all that you wanted. It's fuck around and find out season in full splendor, baby. Que tenga buen día.
The White House is putting a halt and a freeze on all federal grants and all federal loans. The memo put out by their budget office yesterday, January 27th, will be enacted today by 5 p.m., January 28th. This halt and this freeze does not affect Social Security and does not affect Medicare, but it does affect the following: federal grants like the Pell Grant, the SEOG grant, federal loans, direct loans, subsidized loans, unsubsidized loans, Parent Plus loans, Direct Plus loans for graduate students. Check your bill and check your statement and call financial aid. There have been no disbursements of Pell Grants and no disbursements of federal loans. You need to call your college today and see how this affects your spring semester. Wait, that's not all. It will also affect millions of families and low-income households because it's also a freeze on SNAP, food stamps, WIC, Women, Infant, and Children programs, Head Start, child care, Title I educational grants and funds, school breakfast, school lunch, Medicaid, Section 8 housing grants. I told y'all this was going to happen. Call financial aid, call student accounts, call any caring adult on your campus that can help you figure out what your next steps should be. In the meantime, get these scholarships.
One motherfucking weekend, and we are already in the pits of fucking hell. He wasted no motherfucking time. I'm literally having like nightmares with like Aaron Parnas and the guy with the legs up in the sky. Surprise, surprise. Like every 2 to 3 hours. Breaking news this, breaking news that, breaking news. But this one right here today, with putting a freeze on government funded programs, this hit dog is howling at the motherfucking moon. Cause bitch, I have a 5-year-old, right? And she has a late birthday, so she didn't quite qualify for kindergarten. So I kept her in the daycare that she's been in. The daycare she goes to prepares them for kindergarten. So we didn't necessarily have to take the Head Start or preschool route. But I do know those children and those parents are going to be affected just like I am. I qualify for daycare assistance. I don't qualify for shit else. But I barely qualify for this, which I am very appreciative. Okay? But if you take that funding away, now people are not going to be able to afford childcare to go to work. So now that causes a problem with work, and now people are going to start losing their fucking jobs. Not to mention these childcare service providers, enrollment is going to drop tremendously, which means that their income is going to drop tremendously. So we were cutting all the programs to help the children while they're in school, especially the ones with special needs. But you want us to keep having motherfucking kids, but everything to help them, you want to take it away. As if every American can afford all these fucking services or things that come with raising children. But you want us to keep having them though. I'm just thinking like of all of these people that are going to be out of a job if this happens. All of these people that's not going to have food stamps. Section 8 housing. Section 8 housing. There are so many landlords that depend on that subsidy to come from the government to pay the other portion of that rent that the tenants don't pay. There are going to be more homeless people. Bro, this shit is it's spooky. I feel like we're living in an alternate dimension. Like, am I losing my fucking mind? Am I dreaming? Pinch me. Bitch, I'm awake. So now, when I go pick my daughter up today between 5 and 5:30, because I work from home, but I absolutely need my daughter to go to daycare. I got ADHD, she got ADHD. We gonna overstimulate each other and I ain't gonna get no fucking work done, okay? So she has to go to daycare. But push come to shove, if this happens, she will have to stay home with me and I just have to thug it out. But I'm gonna have to have a conversation with the daycare lady today to see like, where do we go from here? I've already paid my fees for the week. You pay that on Monday when you drop that kid off. So yeah. It's up. It's stuck. And I don't even know when the fuck it's coming down. But this is crazy. I can't believe this is the times that we are living in.
Hey family, I'm back. I found out something else. I don't know if y'all heard or not, but Trump is getting rid of that Section 8 and EBT for these people that don't want to get out here and go to work. Your time is up, baby. Y'all, I know most people like us really not feeling Trump, but I'm kind of feeling him on what he's saying about this. Now, how many of y'all have family members, friends, people you know that's been living off Section 8 for 20 years? They rent $3. They don't go to work. Not that they can't go to work. They don't want to go to work. Now, let me say this on the sidebar. They do have some people that need Section 8. Some people that, medically, they can't go to work. Or, they just can't physically. I get it. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to these ones that your mama been on Section 8 all her life, and she ripping and running and doing this and doing that, and then you seen she was on Section 8, paid $3 rent, so now you as a young girl, because you done got pregnant and you got a baby, you go run out there and get on Section 8, and you ain't working, and you having child after child after child, and y'all all on Section 8 getting food stamps, $1,000 a month, and no, that's all about to stop. That's who I'm talking to. Okay? Trump said that's enough. So for us people that goes to work, that's working, he said you got to have at least 30 hours. Okay? 30 hours a week to qualify for the program. All right? So most of us that work on a regular basis, 30 hours ain't nothing to us. This is what we do. So guess what? We gonna be the ones walking around in the grocery store with the big baskets, because we deserve it. All these years, they've been letting people with no job. They walking around with 2-3 baskets full of groceries, and us hard-working people, we got a little handheld basket with 2-3 items in there, because that's all we have left out of our check. And they sitting around getting fat food, eating lobsters and shrimp and crabs and all this other good food, and we can't even eat that. And we the ones going to work. So I'm glad Trump didn't flip the switch, baby. So all y'all that's living it up right now, that's able-bodied to go to work, and you're choosing not to go to work, you better get ready. Because, baby, y'all finna get them notices. And them notices gonna come soon. And like he said, real quick. And those of us that go to work, we ought to be able to go and apply for some food stamps and see what it feel like. To be able to go in the line and slide a card with pride. Because it's not for the ones that don't have nothing. It's for the ones that's working to have something. It's our turn now, y'all. So I'm telling y'all right now, if you able to go to work, you better get out there and start filling out them applications. If you want to have a place to live, it's time to get up and stop being lazy. Because, baby, this is not the American way no more. Trump said no. And y'all can be mad all you want to. I told you, things are changing. You ain't gonna like it, but guess what? You got to go with it. So that's what I got for y'all today. No more Section 8 EBT for people that don't want to go to work. Y'all time is up. Leave a comment, y'all. Let's talk about it.
We have big news because Donald Trump has ordered a complete freeze on federal assistance for programs that don't directly go to Americans like Social Security and Medicare. Here's everything that could be impacted at 5 p.m. today. Funding for Medicaid could be impacted. Funding for school breakfast and lunch programs, Section 8 rental assistance, Title I education grants, temporary assistance for needy families, state grants for child care, Head Start programs, which child care facilities rely on, and the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children. But that's not all. Before I continue, if you don't yet follow me on my Instagram, Substack, and YouTube, I'll continue doing this reporting if TikTok ever gets shut down for whatever reason. It's all linked in my bio. HUD's Community Development Block Grant program could be impacted, and the EPA's grant of clean water infrastructure grants will likely be frozen. State highway reimbursements could be impacted. Funding for local law enforcement agencies to help them fight crime could be impacted. And funding for research for universities to cure cancer could be impacted. We don't exactly know yet what will be impacted, but all of these programs are essentially on the chopping block right now. And it's also not exactly clear that Donald Trump could even do this, whether it's legal or not, because this is money Congress specifically allocated for spending. Comment below your questions and thoughts. I'll provide you as many updates as I can, so follow along for more news.
Shock and awe. Remember what they told us before he was inaugurated? That the things that he would do at the beginning of his term would bring shock and awe. Getting rid of the EOE Act, firing all of those inspectors general, the migrant roundups, saying the wildfires in California could be stopped by just turning on the water, and now freezing federal funding. But despite all of this chaos, that's what he wants. He wants chaos. On my page right now, go and watch the videos that I just reposted. These users are essentially saying that chaos is what he wants. He wants there to be all this chaos so that we take it to the streets. Maybe it, goes the wrong way and gets violent. This code is so terrible. But he wants that so that he can declare martial law. And everyone on that side, once again, will be able to just write it off, brush it off as like, oh, well, there were uproars and, looting, all this stuff. He had to. No, I know, actually, I don't know, but y'all got to be smarter than that. So please, for the sake of everyone, pay attention and realize what he is doing. The things he says, the things he does, take him seriously, because there will certainly be very serious repercussions for the things he does.
Alright guys, there you have it actually. So for years, MAGA has been running around and talking about how the government spends too much and how they don't need government handouts and how they want less federal interference. Well, Trump just gave them exactly what they asked for. So why are they crying? The very same people who actually cheered when programs were cut under previous administrations are now just panicking. We are not sure how this is going to be implemented, but I want us to look at how it's going to affect people if at all it becomes implemented. Because Donald Trump has just decided to freeze and cut all federal funding and grants. So who is going to be hit the hardest here? Number one, let's look at rural America and MAGA states. A lot of these states rely heavily on federal funding. You think Alabama, Mississippi, West Virginia are just thriving off their own economies. Nope. These places have millions, if not billions, in federal funding for infrastructures like roads, healthcare, and schools. But guess what? That money is now going to be frozen. So now what? MAGA governors are now scrambling to figure out how they're going to run their states without the federal government stepping in to save them. So number two, let's look at small businesses and farms. Those farmers who voted for Trump thinking that he was a savior, turns out a lot of them survive on federal subsidies. That means if you are a farmer in the Midwest who depends on government grants to keep your businesses afloat, you are about to feel some real pain. Crop insurance, subsidized loans are going away. And guys, let's not forget that Trump already put them through hell with trade wars and tariffs. Now he's actually gonna take away their remaining safety net. This is wild. Number three, let's look at police departments. This one is hilarious because these are the same folks actually who like to scream, "Make America Great Again." But guess what? A lot of police funding comes from the federal government through federal grants. Now, without that money, the police departments in smaller towns are looking at budget cuts, hiring freezes, and fewer resources. Now, are they gonna scream "Make America Great Again" when their own police forces are struggling? Now, the hardest fact here is that low-income families are gonna lose programs like SNAP, food stamps, housing assistance, and Medicaid depending on federal funds. So this is gonna hit them hard because most of these families are actually innocent. You'll find that most of these families did not even vote for the orange man in charge, but it's the MAGA who are full of themselves in their head who actually brought this to themselves. This man, when he was campaigning, he was all about "Make America Great Again." But at what expense are they making America great again? This is what you get when actually you decide to put billionaires in office, actually in the highest office of the country. Because these people, even when they are running their own businesses to become billionaires, they never care about the common citizens. They never care about what people go through in their daily lives, because we only have about 1 or 2% of people in the population who are billionaires, and the majority of the rest of us are actually down here still grinding in life, trying to figure out life. But the orange man is just there to make 1 or 2% of the population happy, who are fellow billionaires and millionaires. So next time when the ballot box comes and people actually start warning you about your decision, MAGA folks, listen. Listen to people when they try to warn you and tell you how to vote for your own best interest. This is what you get for effing around. Now you're finding out. The only problem is that we all get to find around with you guys in these policies, because these policies won't just affect MAGA people. It's gonna affect the whole country. It's gonna affect the whole population. Thank you very much for watching this far. What you think about today's episode, let me know in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, see you on the next episode.